Welcome to the With Clarity and Purpose podcast with your host, Yanet Borrego. Each week, I bring you an inspiring person or message to empower you to live life on your terms so you can be who you want to be, do what you are meant to do, and have the life you deserve to have. We will provide you with practical and cutting-edge approaches to continue getting clarity and direction on your path, mastering your mindset, and gaining confidence to tap into your inner wisdom so you can live on purpose. Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to episode number 6 of With Clarity and Purpose. And I was walking this morning. I was just doing a 20 minutes cardio break walk. And I realized today is a cooler day in Houston. You can definitely feel the fall just coming up. It's right here and it feels great. I was so happy because in Houston, when it gets hot, my friends. It's just like crazy, but I am used to heat. I actually like warm weather because I'm from Cuba originally, so I'm very used to it and I love it. But it was nice to feel that sudden change in temperature. It feels refreshing, so I was just happy to go out there and experience that coolness of the weather right now. And today's episode, it's all about prioritizing wellness. I actually got inspired to record an episode about this topic today because later at 3 p.m. Central Time today, I'll be going live in a Facebook group talking specifically about this topic. And when I was thinking about wellness, because the theme is wellness for this Facebook group that I don't own, it's someone else that invited me as a guest speaker. And when I was thinking about wellness, I was thinking, what are the main obstacles I have seen on people for them not to prioritize their wellness? What are the main objections that I keep hearing over and over? And the first one that came to my mind was time. I hear often, Janet, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to go 1 hour to the gym, meditate for 10, 20 minutes. And I definitely, in this episode, I'm gonna address that specific objection or that specific reason of being too busy to prioritize your wellness. The second one was around people feeling overwhelmed of a new change, of a new routine. And I also plan to address this objection today. Now, why is prioritizing wellness important, really? I love this analogy that I heard once about thinking of life as a battlefield, a battlefield where every day you experience new challenges, you experience new problems and new celebrations too of something that turned out great, right? It's just a battlefield of us learning every time more and more with new challenges. And in order to go to this battlefield every day, and in order to be safe, secure, centered, calm, balanced, what do you need even before you hit the ground? What do you need? You need your armor. You need your protective gear. You need that tool that you're gonna place in yourself in order to feel grounded and ready to face anything that may come during your day. And that armor is actually your wellness routine. When you have a solid wellness routine that you execute and focusing on consistently, you actually feel more empowered, more inspired, more excited about just starting your day, because you know that you are in control by getting the results just that morning. And one of the things I recommend with any wellness routine is to actually do it in the morning, because of this same reason. It will kickstart your day and you're gonna feel great. You're even going to feel more productive because there is something that you did already and you were successful at it. So it's gonna give you that momentum, that confidence that you can actually do it. The other reason I hear often, I am working, I am, taking care of my pets, taking care of my families. I have a lot of social events with my friends, and I just don't have time. I just don't have time for myself. And let's put that into perspective, right? You are taking care of everyone else except yourself. Just let that sink in for a few seconds. You are the foundation. You are the foundation for everything and anything you're doing in your life right now. You're the foundation for you taking care of your family. You're the foundation for you taking care of your pets, for you taking care of any social interactions with your friends. Wouldn't it make sense to prioritize yourself and prioritize that foundation so you can actually take care of others, because now you're in the right mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional aspect of yourself? Prioritizing yourself and actually taking care of yourself equals to taking care of others. If you want to live longer, if you want to feel energized and be able to do the many things and the many dreams and aspirations you are working or even walking towards, you gotta know how to prioritize yourself. You gotta know how to prioritize your wellness and taking care of those elements that I mentioned: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And today, I'm gonna give you a couple of tips and techniques that are gonna help you tremendously. And not only that, I prepared specifically for all of you and the Facebook group that I'll be presenting later today. I prepared a 3-page guide of a specific routine that I follow through whenever I don't have as much time. It takes actually 5 minutes. That's it. So whenever you tell me I don't have time, I'm gonna ask you, don't you have 5 minutes to take care of yourself? Literally just 5 minutes. And not only that, in the last page of this guide, I also provide you with a free template that I built, literally very customized for this specifically. A free template where you can follow those 5 minutes routine every day for 30 days. And I love calendars. So this is a calendar template, and in every day you have a checkbox that is empty and you just check it out. I did this, check it out. I did that, check it out. And it's 5 minutes total. Really simple and easy to follow. And I'll be including the link below in the podcast and then in my YouTube channel, because as I've mentioned before, this is a video podcast. So it's gonna be great. So I hope you download it. It's gonna be very beneficial for you to start creating sustainable change and empowerment so you can take care of your wellness, which is really important. Now, I would like to address right now the main objections or the main obstacles to prioritizing yourself. The ones that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. The first one is, I don't have time. How long do you think this takes, right? I think it's really important, rather than thinking that you need a 1-hour workout or a 20 minutes meditation, if you don't have much time, why you don't wake up early in the morning and actually do 1 minute of jumping jacks, literally, there are times where I've been traveling mainly or taking a training and I don't have full control of what I'm doing because the training is leading a lot of my day. I wake up early and for 1 minute, I just do jumping jacks. That's my physical aspects, just 1 minute jumping jacks. Now, I like to divide the routine in, like I mentioned, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. You can do 1 minute of jumping jacks or 1 minute of push-ups or 1 minute of squats for the physical part. In the spiritual side, why you don't do 1 minute of deep breathing? That's it, just simple enough. One of the other obstacles that I mentioned before is overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. This is a lot of time. I don't know what to do. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just keep it simple, at least at the beginning. Because one of the things that I want you to focus on is consistency. Doing 5 minutes in this free guide that I'm going to provide you with the exact formula. Doing 5 minutes every day. Not 1 hour, not 20 minutes meditation, just 5 minutes every day. Consistency over perfection is what's going to allow you to create that sustainable routine for you. It is important because even with my coaching clients, if they have never meditated before, and all of my clients, part of my coaching program is that they start meditating because I think it's really important for the spiritual part of the equation. We talked about physical, 1 minute jumping jacks. Now let's talk about spiritual. Meditation, deep breathing, which can equal meditation, is the same thing. It's just like mindfulness. If they have never meditated before, I don't ask them to meditate 20 minutes. It just doesn't make sense. Why? Because they are going to get overwhelmed and they're going to be like, okay, I cannot do this. This is too much. Complexity is the enemy of execution. If you want to start doing something you have never done, start small, build consistency, and whenever you have the basics or the foundation solid, then you can add up more to it. If they have never meditated, I ask them 1 minute breathing every day. Just practice that. If they are comfortable with 5 minutes, then I start 5 minutes, but it has to be comfortable and realistic for them, and every person is very different. I would recommend you to start simple. Just keep it simple. 1 minute deep breathing if you're not familiar with meditation. And even me that I've meditated for almost a decade now on a consistent basis, whenever I feel pressed for time, I just do 5 minutes of deep breathing. Even though my target is 30 minutes, it doesn't matter because at least I prefer doing a little bit than not doing anything at all. It's all about building that consistency, and not only that, but that confidence that you can do it. So it is just very important to start small. We spoke about physical, spiritual, emotional. I love a gratitude practice, right? You can write it down. There are people that love journaling. Just do 1-2 minutes of just writing down just your gratitude. What are you grateful for? What are the top 3 things you're grateful for? And I think it's a good practice for us to not take for granted what we already have. If you're watching this, you probably have a safe place where to stay. You probably have healthy food that you can access. You probably have friends or a family. Those 3 things, and you have health, of course, because you're watching this. Those 4 things are very important and something to be very grateful for. It's just focusing on the basics. It kind of grounds you even before you start the day. That whatever you're seeking, you have already. The other one is mental. I like this one. Mental, something that I do, right? And again, I'll provide you more specifics in my free guide of a method that you can follow, just 5 minutes. But for the mental, I like to set my intention for the day. And let's get more granular. Maybe the one task that day that I want to accomplish and I want to complete by the end of my day. And if I complete that one task, that is the task that is going to give me the highest return on investment. I had this manager in my previous corporate job. I worked 8-9 years in corporate, and I transitioned to entrepreneurship 5 months ago. I had this amazing manager. He recommended me this book. It's called The One Thing. So what is that one thing today or tomorrow, every day? What is that one task that is going to give you the highest return on investment? There is a whole book about this. It's called The One Thing, if you want to read it. I read it and I loved it. It's simple, it's powerful and concise. What is that one thing? So we literally covered already physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. What are those things that in your day, in each one of these buckets, you are gonna address for your wellness and for you to, again, be empowered, inspired, and excited to make an impact in your day and around those that are with you or around you all the time. Now, we covered the why this is important. We covered the how can you make it happen, the what. I'm gonna give you some tips now, and you have heard this before. It's kind of a refresher for you to make sure you create a sustainable routine that is gonna make you feel great and you're gonna prioritize yourself. The first one is start small. Start small. Do not have big targets that are not realistic, and more if you're not familiar with the practice, such as meditation. If you have never meditated, start with 1 minute of deep breathing every day. Every day. If you do it every day, that's gonna have a compounding interest, and the more you do it, the better you're gonna feel about it. But be consistent. And that's tip number 2. Strive for consistency rather than perfection. It's not gonna be perfect every time, and it's important because your best is different every day. That's something that the 4 Agreements say, another book that I deeply recommend. Your best is going to be different every single day. So do your best for just 1 minute. Consistency over perfection. You're not going to be perfect unless you start. So start now. Start small. Strive for consistency over perfection. And the other thing is just to, within those buckets that I mentioned, like physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, choose a practice. And my 4th tip is download the free guide. You don't even have to think through designing your own practice. I'm providing you with a proven approach, just 5 steps, 1 minute each. And this is literally a routine that I follow whenever I feel pressed for time, or whenever for some reason I didn't prioritize doing a longer practice. I just focus on these 5 minutes, targeting what I mentioned: physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional, and you will be ready to go. Now, I always leave you with one question at the end of each one of our podcast episodes. What are you waiting for? Download that free guide. Start with your routine right now. What is stopping you from prioritizing yourself? Remember, you're your foundation of everything, of yourself and everything else that surrounds you. You are your foundation. And the second one, to get ready to go into the battlefield to face new challenges. You gotta put your armor first, and your armor is literally your daily wellness routine. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, I always ask you to share with your family and friends if you found this insightful. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. I hope this was super helpful. Thank you so much for listening at With Clarity and Purpose. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Sharing is caring. Please share with your friends and family so we can continue building an empowered community together. I'll see you next week.